Am I the asshole for holding a text I read by snooping against my dad and stepmom for 6 years now? When I was 13, I was using my dad's phone and I was dumb and very clearly wrong when I opened a text that popped up from my stepmom. She was a few months pregnant at the time. A few texts up I saw that my dad had sent a text saying, "Alice, my mom, is being a bitch again. I'm so glad I get to have a baby with someone I actually love." To which my stepmom replied, "And I can't wait to have a kid without her awful genes mixed in." Which my dad found very funny based on his response. The reason I remember these texts so clearly is because I sent a copy of them to my mom. I knew my dad and mom hated each other. But I felt extremely insulted and betrayed by the texts because they directly involved me. I refused to stay at my dad's house ever since, and when my dad took my mom to court, I told the judge that I can't live with him anymore. My dad and stepmom spent a very long time apologizing. He does seem genuinely sorry because he has cried in front of me. But I can't really bring myself to forgive him. I also know I shouldn't have snooped. But I can't unsee those texts. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You shouldn't have snooped or forwarded on the messages, sure, but you were 13. And I can't wait to have a kid without her awful genes mixed in. Your stepmom insulted your mom and you. And rather than defend his child from such an ugly comment, he reacted with amusement. Dash 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 dot. ETA. When I wrote this, you shouldn't have snooped or forwarded on the messages. I meant as a general, snooping is bad, sharing snooped information is worse, sense, but in this matter where the sharing of the snooped messages was useful in sorting out the custody matter, it obviously was the right thing to do. Not the asshole. That's no way for a parent to talk about their child. As a mother, I would never indulge a partner at the expense of my child, even if I thought they'd never find out. That's inexcusable. For the record, you don't have shitty genes, you have a shitty stepmom. Not the asshole. He ruined his own relationship with you. It was dick move for him to laugh. You were 13, a little snooping can be excused. Don't feel bad about it. You learned how they really saw you and got out of spending time with someone who alks about you like that. You were 13, they were grown adults. They should have known better. It wouldn't hurt for you to ask him why he didn't defend you. Why he allowed her to insult you. But you don't have to. Info. Did stepmom have anything to do with the divorce? Ordinarily, I would say that you shouldn't snoop, but what they were saying was vile, especially your stepmother's snipe about your mother's genes. They're not sorry for what they texted. They're sorry they were caught. It is entirely up to you whether or not you can forgive them. Not the asshole. NTA, your dad should have defended you, he's an asshole. Not the asshole. What a horribly hurtful thing to say, both he and his wife. You shouldn't have read the text message, but he never should have said it in the first place. I'm so sorry, Op. I'm not sure I'd be able to forgive either. His wife sounds resentful that you even exist, and dad's resentment towards your mom is fueling a lot of it. Not the asshole. She called your mom a bitch, then called you half a bitch while putting her new baby on this pedestal. Then your dad laughed about it. I wonder if he'll find it funny if the same things are said about the new kid. Not the asshole. A text from your stepmom popped up while you were using your dad's phone. Should you have read it? No. But also, you were a kid. Kids snoop. You ground them for it and you move on. It's not your fault the contents of that text were so horrible. Your father and stepmother had a responsibility to be the adults in that situation, and they failed in that responsibility. Horribly so. To your dad's credit, it sounds like he knows this was his fault. Forgiveness isn't something you can force. It has to come when you're ready. If you haven't already, you may want to consider talking to a therapist about all this. That was a traumatic thing to go through, and there's nothing wrong with getting some help processing your feelings about it. Not the asshole. You were saving them the trouble of having to interact with your mom's awful genes. Even if the text was private, what kind of two-faced person says that about a kid that they have in their care? What he did was cruel. And stupid. Sure, hun. You can borrow my phone. Just don't look at the texts in which I trash talk you and your mom. My opinion might differ a bit from what others have posted. I have privately written things in my diary about my mom that my mom read while snooping and was upset about. What I wrote was nasty and it still lingers on my mind. My mom was upset for a few days but we forgave each other and wrote it off as collateral. People make stupid mistakes or stupid choices that they truly can regret. There is really not much they can do to repent other than make amends and seek forgiveness. It looks like your dad has apologized and wants to have you in his life. Think about what forgiveness means to you, and someday if you offend someone and regret it, would you want to be forgiven yourself? What would it take for you to forgive your dad? What would he need to do? Not the asshole. You are a child and your father and stepmother said some very hurtful things about you. Not the asshole. Your dad should have defended you when she said that about you. I wouldn't ever be able to have a relationship with someone who said or thought like that about my child. You don't have to speak to your father or stepmother again. But I wonder if your mom ever said anything terrible about your father during their obviously bitter divorce? It might not have been on this scale, but did you hold it against her for years? It's true, you can't unsee the texts. It was a terrible thing to joke about. If they are sincere in their apologies, you might want to cautiously build some sort of relationship with them. Perhaps short-term therapy might help each of you understand where the other is coming from and how you can move on, if you can. And I can't wait to have a kid without her awful genes mixed in. It's horrible. She's talking about you, a 13-year-old child at the time. And your father didn't say anything. That's horrible. I totally understand you not forgiving them. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, and I actually think that it's a good thing that you forwarded the messages to your mom. Proof can be important for custody and proving that it actually happened. Also, your mom is there to protect you. It was wrong to snoop, of course, but sending the text to your mom isn't a bad thing for a 13-year-old to do. I would want you to if you were my kid. You obviously trust her enough to talk to her about this. Was he a loving and involved parent before this incident? Did he know about your life, friends, likes and dislikes, clubs and goals, etc.? Before this, if you had a problem, would you have trusted your dad to help you solve it? Your dad and stepmother are Oz in the text messages. There is no doubt there. People that carry hate and bitterness for someone else, your mom, can say and do stupid things that impacts those around them. Kids can drive parents up the wall at times. It's part of life. I suspect with the hate and bitterness towards your mom, they saw humor in blaming whatever you did that drove them up the wall on your mom's genetics. It wasn't directly at you, but you were impacted. In a comment you said they treated you well. You're an adult now. You want to see them? By all means. You don't want to? So be it. Want to draw lines in the sand? Your choice. So not the asshole because you didn't do anything that would make you one. Not the asshole. I don't think you should have been snooping, but you were a kid and that was your dad and it's up to you to decide when you want to let it go. You are the asshole. Sometimes grown-ups need to vent and it was about your mom, not you. This happened 6 years ago, right? What triggered this post? P.S. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your father acted immaturely and that are the consequences. Forgive on your own timeline when you are ready. I would not want to be around anyone that made fun of my mother like that. It sounds as if this may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Said that they treated her well, but did they trash the mom a lot? My only advice would be to tell them, in a letter, perhaps, just how it made you feel when you saw the texts. I think if there's a way to amend the relationship, then you should give it a shot. After all, we have limited time on this earth, so to spend those precious moments in bitterness and contempt, is just sad. Not the asshole. Some parents think this kind of joke is very funny and nothing to get upset over. Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. They insulted you. Actions have consequences. This is why children cut off parents. It's not funny. It's hurtful. Not the asshole. How did stepmom try to explain herself? Not the asshole. I don't know what the right answer is to this, but I honestly can't say I blame you for not being able to let it go. My parents have truly unintentionally hurt my feelings when I was a little girl and I am 28, still struggling to let that shit go. This is much more callous than anything my parents said. I don't know how you heal a relationship with people saying that, but I wish you the best. This is more complicated than a simple they are the assholes I feel. You, for sure, are not the asshole. You were 13. Kids snoop and can feel rejection very deeply, especially in a divorce situation. But this is some time later. Your dad expressed remorse. You feel how you feel, which is valid, but now may be the time for family therapy to help heal you both. Keeping them at a distance doesn't sound like it's making you happy. As a parent, I have made a few jokes about my kids, who I adore, that they wouldn't have liked to hear, but they were jokes, made in the moment and not for their ears. Also, texts have no tone or context, so there may have been some history or reference you weren't aware of. Too long did not read Not the Asshole, but maybe it's time for a second chance. Not the Asshole. I can't imagine how awful of a feeling you got reading those. The fact that they mentioned you is messed up. I'd kick my BF's ass for insulting my kid, and I'd expect he'd kick mine for insulting his children. What happened to all the people on this subreddit saying that people deserve privacy and that their words expressed privately in moments of emotion shouldn't be held against them? Not the asshole, but I wouldn't throw my dad away because of one comment. Did he ever do anything else negative? Or was it just this one thing? I may be biased because my dad is dead, but I feel you should end a relationship over something like that. People, especially parents, make mistakes. However you handle it, however feels best to you. If cutting him out of your life is what will make you happy, then that's what you should do. Mine opinion means very little. They are your feelings and it's your life and you deserve happiness. Do you think rebuilding your relationship with your father would be beneficial to you? If so, maybe you can give it a try. It would probably take a lot of work and may not work out, but if you feel like it's worth it, give it a try, since your dad seems to be sorry and regrets his words. Not the asshole. What a horrible thing to say. Not the asshole. You were a child. It is a parent's job to protect and love their children, not make fun of them because they hate their ex. I guarantee it wasn't the first time such a joke had been made, nor would it have been the last if you hadn't found it and exposed them. If he was crying, it was probably because he'll have to pay child support. Not the asshole. If it were me, I'd have posted it on Facebook, publicly, for everyone to see. Neither of them deserve a relationship with you, TBH, and I would go low contact with your dad if you choose to talk to him. Honestly, personally, I'd get the screenshot from your mom and post it now just to spite stepmom, but that's my own bad advice and I don't encourage you to use it. Everyone sucks here. Their comments seemed like condemnation of your mother, not you. I'm sure a million kids have texted their friends that they hate their parents. I'm lolling at the hive mind saying that parents can't privately hate their sperm donor's contribution to their child and still love their child. This goes contrary to the dozens of posts where the wicked step-parent read the diary of the child bashing the step. Hypocrites. I lean toward you are the asshole, but ultimately this is a situation where I don't think I can really judge anyone. What your dad and stepmom did was shitty, but they apologized, and, as Alexander Pope put it, to err is human. Your going low contact for the remainder of your childhood and on into adulthood seems harsh, but who am I to tell you how you should feel? I feel bad for everyone involved, but I don't think you're obligated to have a relationship with someone you don't like. Not the asshole. She attacked you and your dad was okay with it. This is the consequences of their actions. Not the asshole. Words hurt. Even words that are not meant. No one is owed forgiveness either. The only decision you have to make is whether being able to forgive your dad and stepmom would help you. Holding on to anger and resentment can be damaging to the holder too. This might be something worth discussing with a therapist who can be more objective than a friend or family member. Your dad let you use his phone, and a text popped up. They of course did not mean for you to see them. They were also blowing off steam. What your stepmother said is worse by insulting your mom's genes. She was also insulting you. Your father apologized for the pain his texts caused you. You might want to forgive him and at least have a civil relationship with him. Info. Before this, did your stepmother treat you well? Or was she the stereotypical stepmonster? Not the asshole. Info, is he sorry about the joke itself or is he sorry you saw it? What has he done besides saying words to show you that you have value to him? What has your stepmother done to make amends? Maybe I'm missing something. This just sounds like a passive-aggressive comment more so targeted towards your mother than you. I definitely wouldn't throw away or mess up my relationship with a parent over this. Look at his actions. Did he mistreat you, verbally and/or physically abuse you? Never be there for you, do things that scared you, be a horrible influence? I just can't imagine reacting this way over one comment. Surely there was more? Not the asshole. Even though it was intended to be private and confidential, he legit betrayed his own child. It will take more than simple apologies to fix this if it is ever fixable. Not the asshole. You were 13 and looked. A silly childish thing from a child. Problem I would see with reconciliation is, would you feel comfortable with them again knowing what was said? Can you forgive them? Forget about your brother. It is heartbreaking but should have no bearing on your situation with your father. The loss of the child without your bad genes should have no effect on the relationship between you and your father. Edit. I wonder if you had not seen the text, your brother have lived. How would you both have been treated comparatively? There is some truth to the phrase, in humor oft does truth lie. What are your thoughts about forgiveness in general? Chances are you will one day do something really stupid that inadvertently hurts someone you love. And you will feel tremendous remorse for the pain you caused. That person will of course be under no obligation to forgive you. I don't want to say you are being an asshole. But you are fooling yourself if you assume you will never be in the position your father is in with you. Nope. Not the asshole. Snooping sucks and you know better, but damn. Your dad legit did you dirty. I wouldn't forgive him either. If your hatred of someone outstrips your love for me, you don't love me enough and you sure don't deserve to have me in your life. Hope you like your pure child. It's all you get. Not the asshole. He fucked up. Not even just once. Agreeing with stepmother was wrong. Brushing it off when he was aware you knew was wrong. Trying to force more contact over working with you, respecting your wishes. You don't carry any guilt in this. Hopefully he has learned from this and is more careful around what he says in future about those he is supposed to care about. They're just mad they got caught being jerks. Not the asshole. Let me tell you, I would leave someone for talking shit like that about my child.